welcome back to my craft desk, and it's good to see you here. I'm actually filming this on Sunday. It's a pretty overcast day. I hope it's nicer where you are. As you can see on my desk I have my altered book, and there were a couple of questions that people have asked. So I thought before I do anything else, I would address those questions. Okay, the first one was, am I going to cover this book? And let me tell you, look at it. Horribly damaged. It's been somewhere wet. This is all stuck to the back. So yes, I am definitely going to cover it. And I'm not sure at the moment how I'm going to do it, but it will be done. It will either be fabric. It could well be fabric, this one. I'll just see how I go. Now, the other question was one that I've got to say I used to panic over. And somebody said, I think it was Margaret, said, how do you keep your pages flat? That pages buckle when you start adding glue and bits and bobs. Well, look at mine. It's already quite chunky. But I must admit that this time, with this book, I've done better with keeping it less bunched up. You know, I knew exactly what Margaret meant. Hang on a moment. Let me grab this. Was the first one I did, and I've never finished it. And I must admit, I had a few issues with this book. Over time, it has flattened out a bit, but you can see some of the pages are a bit, and when you look from the spine down, you can see it doesn't sit very well. You know, where you glue the pages, it just doesn't sit that well. It's not as bad as I was thinking as I was working in it, but you can see, like, this page is well buckled. And if you run your hand over it, it's more noticeable. And it's what put me off these altered books. But I've got to say that Natasha suggested something, and I have followed along with her, and I found that it did help with this book. And Natasha is Natasha from Treasure Books, and this is her design, and I am literally following it with regards to, you know, the pocket pages pretty closely. What she's suggesting is to take your time working on the pages. So when you complete one page and you've glued it and you've got your pockets in place, whatever, say for instance this page, which is like 4 pages, it produces 6 pockets, 4 here, and this is 3 pages, and the 4th page is this page here with 2 pockets. And you can see, since I last posted, I've added this beaded trim to these pockets, which is, you know, it's made it quite chunky. You can see there, I mean, that's that page. But I thought, well, I'm going to do it. I'll do it on one page, and this is the one. So, yeah, what she's suggested is when you've worked a page, stand your book up like this to let it dry. I also think when I glue my pages, what I do is, and we'll go back to this page, when I glue them, I set my glue onto the backs of the pages, and then I glue them like this. I make sure I pull them up from the spine and attach the glue like so. so that the pages are even, and they're even from the spine up towards the edge of the page. And then if you stand it upright, it's got nowhere to go. It will dry as you set it. And basically that's what you're doing, you're setting it. All right, so I hope that answered both questions. Don't give up. You know, this book in particular, the pages are a lot thicker than this one, because this one was an ordinary, you know, novel. It was a pretty standard, quite a modern book, but pretty standard papers. So really, you know, I will complete this eventually, and I will carry on doing it as per what we've just spoken about. And I think it will make a difference. I mean, basically, you have to take out quite a lot of the original pages too. And if you start with that, you won't go too wrong. Okay, so going back to this book, I have been working on it because I am starting a new project. It's a week-long project with B.B. Henry, and it's more of a painterly project, 7 days of mixed media. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's something I'd like to do a bit more of. So I thought I'd try and get ahead with this book. So as I said, this was the last page we worked on. And I'm glad that people thought that this idea was quite good. I am seriously considering going through some of my cross-stitch patterns from magazines and books, etc., old books, and taking them out and putting them on cards to fit into journals. It's a good way of keeping them, particularly those that are in magazines. You know, you end up keeping all these magazines, and really all you want is a couple of the patterns in them. So, yeah, I'm thinking I might do that somewhere down the line. It's on my to-do list. Now, I'm pretty sure we did this one, which is the crisscross page, okay? I have since added this piece, which is another page from the book. I've attached it to some scrapbook paper. It's curling a little bit, but that's okay. After a while, it will settle, and that goes in there. I've kept it very plain, loads of room on the back for any writing, but that just slots into that pocket. So the next page was here. And this one took 2 pages, okay? 2 pages that you cut at about, well, again, I do about 1/3 up from the bottom and cut through the 2 pages. And that makes a skinny pocket here, which is perfect for the likes of a book tag. And that's what I've done. I've made a book tag using scrappy bits of these papers that were left over from Pink Monarch and some other odds and ends, and obviously a fussy cut flower, and that fits in there. And I mean, again, you know, you can decorate the front of these. I'm happy with this for now. You know, if I get bored and want to do a bit more decorating, I can always come back on it. So that was that pocket. The top pocket, again, you just turn back a piece at the top, and it's up to you whether you just shape it or take it back like this. I always trim it to about 1 inch, trim off any excess to about 1 inch, and then glue that down on the inside before I start. I've covered that with more of the paper from Pink Monarch, and actually I think I've shown you this page. Excuse me. I left here blank because it was just a cream piece of the original book page. And what I did, I fussy cut one of the other flower images from the pages. And there were a few of them. I've got a few here, look, in my basket. And I just fussy cut around them. And I've added that to the page after I've done a bit of, what do you call it? Spritzing with, actually I used, what did I use for that? I think it was watercolour paint, because I painted these with watercolour, these little flowers, just, simple. Added some colour to those. And then just, before I added that to the page, used some of the blue and green to spritz across the background. And I'm quite happy with how that looks. It looks quite nice. Inside the pocket here, I've got this journal card. I don't know whether this one will stay in here, but I've popped it in there for now. And this is just made up of scraps. It's like a patchwork of scraps of my painted papers and gel prints. And I've added those over some card. And I've actually, you possibly can't see, but I've gone round the squares with a gold pen. And I've done a bit of doodling type stuff on a few of the squares. Okay, this, I drew that for something, can't remember what it was now, but it was one of my little doodles. So I've added, it was on that piece of paper, so I thought, okay, I'll add that on. And just a punched flower, 2 flowers, to slot inside there. So that was that page. The other side I've just kept plain for now. It can be decorated. We'll see how we go. And then the next pocket was this one. And this is, it takes 2 pages. And one page you fold down as per this. And the bottom page, and you pop that one down and then glue across the bottom. And then the second page you turn up, okay? And that gives you 2 pockets. And again, I've used my painted papers or gel prints, but on here this was pretty plain, so I've just spritzed some green ink on there, splattered is what I did. So that took care of that page. The other side of that page, you can see, had this image on, so I've left that. And then we came to the next page. Now this is, I actually changed what I did here. Natasha's page here took 3 pieces of the book page. And the first 2 were torn, to give you this nice torn edge. The front one, and obviously you do them slightly larger all the way through. And Natasha's idea was that these pages would be attached to the 3rd page. But I liked that image, so I didn't want to do that. So I've just made it a single pocket and flip over. And I may well use some scraps to add something here, but for now I've just made that a single pocket. And I did a bit of gesso painting over this page that had writing, and then again I've just sprinkled it with inks, and they're sort of the inks to marry up with this page, purpley greens. And I painted this very simple painting on this plain white page or creamy page. So that was that one. And as I say, I've left that one as is because I really like that image. On the other side, it has this, which I quite like. But what I think I might do is put a small pocket here. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind. In fact, if I can find, here we go. I will pop one of these on here so as I know I'm going to come back to that pocket or that page. All right, then we moved on, and this page, now this was a good page. I should have stopped here and showed you what I mean about gluing the pages together and keeping them sort of upright till the glue dries. It's still slightly buckled, but not too bad. All right, this one took 1, 2, 3 pages, and the back page stays intact. I've covered mine, as you can see, just, you know, the bottom edge. Then the first page is tucked under again and slightly lower than I have been tucking under. And again, I trim off. Have I trimmed? Yeah, I think, no, sorry. Let's start that again. This page you tuck down. You bring it forward and glue it down this side so it makes a bottom tuck. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you work ahead of yourself. And so as I say, a bottom tuck. I've just added a bit of washi here. The second page you tuck up from the bottom. So from this point here, you tuck it up to here. And that one is glued down this side to form this top pocket. Okay, so you've got one pocket here, and a large pocket at the back. I've added another of my Scrappy Bits tags in here. And again, just scrappy bits of painted paper. I've added a label and a die cut flower, and that sits in there. Done nothing on here because I quite like that. Just added some matching washi, and that's it. This page, we'll leave that one because I like that. Right, the next page is just one piece or one page, and this one is turned back on itself to make a tall skinny pocket. You can see I've covered it and punched the top. As yet there's nothing in that pocket, but that's where I'm up to with that. I've started this one, but I haven't finished it. And basically this takes 1, 2, 3 pages, okay? And you start from the front and you put your 3 pages all together. And what I've done is divided the page into thirds, and you cut all 3 pieces. So you cut through from the edge to the spine on all 3 pieces, okay? And then the front one gets folded back on itself, and you can see I take off this here and just leave about 1 inch turnover. And this is going to become a pocket here, a side tuck pocket there. Same. So they will be glued down top and bottom of each piece once I've decorated. And then this one, actually with this page you're better off starting from the back and gluing top and bottom on each piece. These are 3 longish tag pockets. You can see I've added the half circle punched out piece here. This one then gets glued onto this page, and that's your side tuck here. I haven't decorated this. This has got a reasonable image on it, so I'm not bothered by the time I put tags in there, it'll probably cover most of that anyway. All right, so that is that page. So I picked some paper here that I thought, this is some that I might use. Haven't quite decided yet. Okay, so that's where I'm up to with the book. I'm not going to do any more on this today. I just wanted to show you where I'm up to, and I will get myself sorted and we'll work on a couple of pages together. You can see we've got some interesting shapes here coming up, and there's still a few to do, but I'm getting there. All right, so that's that one. Okay, now the other thing I've done is this. I've covered this box, which was, there you go, I haven't done the underside of it. This was my hair straighteners box, and it was a nice sturdy box, black, and I've covered 3 sides with book page, added this piece of ribbon and what do you call those, an eyelet in the front, and I also covered the inside, but I've left the rest black. So on my shelf, what you can see, the ends have been covered, and you can see this. I didn't want to do inside. I may well do across the front here. At present I haven't. I'm happy to leave it. There's my phone, I'll be looking for that. But I thought this made a good storage box. And you can see what I've got in mind here. And I've been working on this downstairs, which is why it's got all sorts in it. I bought these kiddies cards from the op shop for $1. And there were 3 packs of cards in here. Happy Families, Snap and Old Maid. And I thought, I've also got playing cards somewhere, but I thought these would be fun to work on, to collage. I want to keep this piece because, you know, that's quite cute, but I wanted to cover this. So I started late on yesterday, again using scraps of my papers, my gel prints, collage-y papers, all sorts. And I've just covered one side. Just quickly go through these. You know, they're all sorts of odds and ends, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to work with them. I'll probably do a mixture of all sorts. Oh, that one needs a bit more glue. These are the ones I worked on this morning. They're still a little bit damp. But they're fun size, and I thought these would sit in my box quite nicely. Probably not that way round. Oh, they do. But certainly this way round. And this can be an ongoing thing. I've got, as I say, I've got some playing cards. They sit quite nicely that way round. I've got playing cards as well as these, and I'm sure I'll pick up more now that I've started. And I was thinking I might do some just plain collage, some I might do some drawing on, some I might just continue with the sort of mixed media style, and just add some focal images. I haven't decided yet, but I thought it was quite fun and quick. very quick to put these together. I was surprised. As I say, I sat last night, and it's the sort of thing you can do on a tray in front of TV if you're watching TV. I've got 3 more to do, so I thought we'd quickly do those. And then I've completed 1 pack. So I've just been using a glue stick and covering this side, and it is quite shiny. It's playing card, you know, so it is quite shiny surface. If you're bothered, you can scratch it up a bit with some sandpaper. I'm not too worried, to be honest. If pieces come up, and I've noticed I've got a couple that are coming up, I'll just go over them with the art glitter glue. And it's, you know, it doesn't matter. You can do as much or as little as you like to cover them. And it's a great way of using up. Where are my big scissors? Here they are. It's a great way of using up odds and ends. Gel prints, you know, you clean off sheets, you braid off pieces. I've used all sorts. I was doing this downstairs using the kitchen scissors, you know, from my scrap drawer. Not the cooking scissors, just the kitchen scissors that get pulled out for all sorts of odd bits. Yeah, so, you know, you can decide that you might leave it like that or add a bit of interest. Actually, that's pretty similar paper. Another one. I chose to do these with these kind of papers. I mean, some of the paper is deli paper. This, for instance, is a very thin piece of deli paper, and you can kind of see through, but I don't think, you know, by the time I finish with them, I don't think you will see through. But stuff like, what am I thinking? Pattern paper wouldn't be a good idea, because unless you wanted to see through, I mean, I just think it would be a bit thin. Right, so that's the last one done. We could add something a bit different, or just leave it like that. I think I'm going to leave that one, and then it depends what I put on it. All right, so there you go. That's what I've been working on, and I'll come back and show you. I'll do a couple, work on a couple of these, and I will show you what I've done. I definitely want to try and do a bit of drawing, sketching. So smaller pieces makes it a bit easier for me. There you go. All right. So I'm going to go and hopefully I'll have something to share in the next couple of days. I don't really want to start on a new project because I've got this mixed media thing coming up, and that's going to take up a week. I might continue in the altered book and try and get a bit more of that done, so that we can put that away. Maybe work on the book cover. See, I really need to cover it all over. I wonder if I could paint it. Probably could, you know. Here's a thought. Yeah, watch this space. Okay, I'm away for now. Thank you so much. This is just a quick catch up, and I will see you hopefully shortly. Until then, take care.